What a glorious morning it is here in Central Florida. Fall is here, nice chill in the air. So, Dr. Dan Yachter, the chiropractor. Let's go ahead and jump into the topic, and it's about hormones and robbing from Peter to pay Paul. So, we're going to talk a little bit about this because we have an important event coming up on Tuesday, the 21st of October. Oh yeah, it's here already. My gosh. Here's my new mango. I'm a mango lover. And I just braced it the other day. It was getting so big it was flopping over. So it's gonna be my second mango tree. And I'm a mango eater. I love mangoes, and that thing will be bearing fruit hopefully no time at all. Good morning, beautiful morning, CC. So the topic this Tuesday, and we want you there. Hopefully you have it on your calendars. It's going to be the Hormone, Thyroid, and Stress Masterclass taught by yours truly, Dr. Dan Yachter, the chiropractor. And we want you there. It's going to be enlightening, and we're going to equip you with the truth. And most people don't know this, and seemingly most doctors, especially medical doctors in our community, are unaware of the fact that there are 50 plus hormones in the human body. And if you add in all the peptides and all kind of the subcategories of hormones, hundreds of hormones that can potentially impact the body. And one of the things that really is the biggest focal point in terms of all the hormones are the sex hormones, right? When we think of hormones, we think of sex hormones, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. These are the ones that are focused upon, especially with pellets, injections, creams. As people age, they're feeling different symptoms as women age. They feel different symptoms, hot flashes, night sweats, moodiness, hair loss, all kinds of different things are going on. So when they go to see their PCP, internist, medical doctor, endocrinologist, whoever it may be, their functional medical doctor, their MD, their DO, whoever they go see, what happens is, and this is where the robbing from Peter to pay Paul comes in, is that there's this myopic approach in regards to just focusing solely on these hormones. Let's give you some testosterone pellets. Let's give you some estrogen. Let's give you a mix of estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, right? And that's the focus. But again, if you add in all the categories, subcategories of hormones, hundreds of them in the body, 50 primary ones. And we must ask the question, if we're going to bring balance holistically back to a patient's body, we have to be looking at the entire picture, not just one dot on the Monet. We have to be looking at the entire picture of hormones, and that is missed. And it's tragic because it can create a massive imbalance in the body. And the one thing that we want to know, and again, a lot of it's done out of desperation on behalf of the patient. They're feeling horrible, or they feel like they're aging, or their bodies are aging faster, or they're losing their sex drive, or they're losing their sex life, or they're losing whatever. And out of desperation, they get these different medical treatments. But the overarching point of dealing with hormones, or understanding the hormonal picture, is understanding that there's one hormone above and beyond any other one that has the greatest impact and influence over every one of the hormones in the body, and it's cortisol. Cortisol is always present in the body. It actually helps manage your blood pressure, your blood sugar, your immune system. It helps regulate your physiology. Cortisol, it's known as the fight, flight, freeze hormone, but again, it's always present. It's always in decent amounts in the bloodstream, but under chronic levels of stress. I was reading an article about a medical study showing that people who are not dealing, or they have unresolved grief of a loved one, they have double the rate or risk of dying over the next 10 years versus someone who is not dealing with grief or has dealt with it properly. And so we know that stress, chronically elevated emotional stress levels, will destroy the body and destroy the balance of every other hormone, including all the sex hormones in the body. Cortisol, when we are under unresolved fight or flight stress, cortisol goes up. When it stays elevated, it impacts every single part of our body. So it puts us in a fight or flight or freeze. And so there's two parts of the nervous system that regulate us, the sympathetic and parasympathetic. Sympathetic is fight or flight, freeze. Parasympathetic is feed, breed, rest, digest, healing, repair. And if you're in fight or flight, you're going to sleep that way, waking up that way. And again, there are adaptive compensatory mechanisms in our body. And some people, you may start losing sense of the fact that your body truly is running and racing every single day, but it is. When that happens, we can't repair, we can't heal. Our digestive systems are affected. If we're in fight or flight, if parasympathetic is the other side of the coin is feed, breed, rest, digest, repair, what does that mean? It means that that side is turned off, or the resources are reappropriated toward the gas pedal side, the run for your life side. And if that's happening, digestion is impaired, breeding is impaired, very difficult. Fertility is impacted, very difficult to bear children if you're a woman, right? So feed, breed, rest, digest. The digestive impact is enormous. So we know that if we really are going to bring balance back to the body, the hormonal picture, and this is what we're going to be talking about at the master class, we must address stress. If we're going to bring, again, the master class is about thyroid balance, hormonal balance, but again, it all starts with stress, emotional stress, physical stresses too, right? But how do we bring balance? How do we manage that stress? Because if not, it's going to eat us alive. And it doesn't matter how many therapeutic interventions you bring in your body, whether it's by way of pellets, creams, whether it's ingesting the medical treatments, whatever it may be, it's only going to create more imbalance long term if the root cause is not dealt with. So again, we're going to equip you with strategies, technologies, all kinds of different ways, lifestyle strategies to bring balance back naturally. And again, there are so many different ways to do it. First place we start is with measuring. We measure your body. We figure out what's going on inside of the body. The traditional way of doing it, we're going to teach you this at the master class, are blood markers, but that misses the total picture. We're going to talk about the Dutch test. We're going to talk about other tests that look at the entire picture. So again, what are we going to discuss? How do you bring natural balance back to the body? How do you deal with cortisol, which is the main wrecker of your hormones? That is the hormone out of the 50 plus primary ones, and the hundreds of them are in the body, including all the subcategories and the peptides and whatnot. How do you what's the one domino you got to knock over if you really are going to bring balance back to the body? So we're going to talk about the foods that bring back hormonal balance, that feed the thyroid. How do you repair a thyroid? If your thyroid is intact, how do you bring balance back naturally, quickly, easily? A lot more easily than you think. I've had patients in my office, including my father, who was on Synthroid. Many people know it as levothyroxine, the generic thyroid medication. My father was on it for 35 years, and I was able to get him off it. And he's been off it for a long time. So if the thyroid is intact and it's fed properly, what I found clinically almost after 30 years, I don't treat thyroids, but I know how to bring balance back to the body so the body can heal the thyroid on its own. But when you feed it properly, so what are the foods? How do you bring down stress? Movement, we're going to talk about sleep, we're going to talk about stress management, we're going to talk about so many different aspects. We're going to talk about the spine. Yep, the spine has a lot to do with stress, structural stress. And it all comes back to the 3 T's, trauma, thoughts, toxins. We always talk about this. Right? What does the spine have to do with stress or stress regulation or cortisol balance in the body, or hormonal balance? How does the spine factor into hormonal balance? Most people never connect those dots. The spine, the vertebrae, and my hormones, how do those two connect? Well, we're going to talk about that. And if you didn't know about it before, it is important to understand that picture. So we're going to bring the spine into the conversation, as we always do. You can't rob from Peter to pay Paul. You can't bring artificial intervention. You can't manipulate the body. You can't manipulate the hormones and get away with it. You got to get the cause, and the cause is always lifestyle. Always. There's no running from lifestyle. It doesn't matter which medication it is, whether it's hormones or otherwise. You got to bring balance back to the body holistically. And if it's not done, it just creates more and more imbalance. There's an innate wisdom. There's an innate intelligence in the body, an inborn wisdom. And you can't fool it. You can't rob from Peter to pay Paul. You cannot take away, you cannot pull the wool over innate's eyes. And if you do, it just creates more imbalance. She fights against you every time. Maybe not short term, but long term, she will win. So again, that's the purpose of these master classes, to arm and equip you with the knowledge, the strategies you need to progress, proceed forward properly, and be victorious in your health walk, right? So in the meantime, one of the greatest stress management techniques you can do is get out, get your feet, bare feet on the ground, in the dirt, in the sand, in the grass. That's what I'm doing right now. Walk, move. I just did a 20-minute sprint. Blood's flowing, breathing the fresh air. Beautiful sky, getting the morning sun in my eyes. Get out and move. Great stress management. Find someone you like to move with, that you like to walk with. Get out and move. Find a friend. Find a companion. Okay? Wake up and pray for others, right? And by the way, for those of you guys who, last week I mentioned Ken, a patient of mine who was struck by a car, who's in the hospital. He's progressing well, and I appreciate all your prayers. If you can continue to pray for Ken, my patient, who is moving in the right direction. Still a long way to go, but many complications. But I appreciate all the prayers, and that's another great stress management for us in a selfish way, right? When we pray for others, the health and well-being of others, it comes back like a boomerang, and it's therapeutic for us. So always include that in the picture. But again, mark your calendars. We want you there. CC and others. It's going to be an awesome masterclass. I've gotten correspondences from so many of you guys. You've messaged me or emailed me or texted me and told me you're coming this Tuesday, the 21st of October, 6:30 p.m., inside of the office, Elevation Health. Yes, Ken is progressing well. So we want you there, 6:30 p.m. It's going to be the office, Lake Mary location, and 60 to 90 minutes, equipping you with the knowledge you need to win your race, your health race. So everybody have a great Sunday. Get out and move. Enjoy the spectacular day, especially if you're in Central Florida. It is absolutely gorgeous. So I appreciate you guys. Have a great Sunday. God bless.